Hello. I got something in the mail today that I ordered on eBay for a particular reason, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But when I did so, I posted it in one of the chat rooms, and a lot of people were interested in exactly what this is and what it came from. It is from, well, okay, this is falling down. A little backstory from the Transformers era. As you may have known from some of the recent television airings of The Toys That Made Us, Diaclone was a line that was out in Japan prior to Transformers, and when Hasbro approached Takara and made a licensing agreement with them, they took a lot of the toys from the Diaclone line as well as the Microman, Microchange line, and brought that over into the Transformers that we know today. These pre-Transformers toys, as they're known, many of them look very similar to what we have. Some of them were a few different colors, but primarily they cannibalized those and a few Bandai toys, such as the Jetfire that was based on the Robotech Vertec. And something that the line, or that the show rather, didn't touch on was that prior to Transformers even showing up in the United States, the Diaclone line was known as Diacron, and it had 3 of the Autobot cars. There was a black Ironhide, a blue Trailbreaker, and a I forget which one that is, maybe the police car version of Sunstreaker. It may have been something else. In any case, they also had other toys that Hasbro never used, and these were out in the United States as Diacron, or in this case, Kronoform, which you can see that here. And the Kronoform toys, you may be familiar with some of those that you had with the little watches that would transform. As you can see there, let me zoom in on that. The little watches that would transform and all these various things, they were all part of that Kronoform, including this one, Multiforce. So not all the toys that were produced originally by Takara were ever used in the Transformers line. Now, the main reason I got this toy was because I have another video that I want to make of something else I have, which is Powered Convoy. He was the mold that the Ultra Magnus toy was based on. He was a blue Optimus Prime cab, different colors, red and blue in his trailer. And as with all Diaclone toys, they came with little tiny drivers. Well, I lost the driver to my Ultra Magnus, so when I set out to make the video, I wanted to make sure that I had one to use. And when I found this on eBay, even though these originally were meant to come with about 6 drivers, which are not shown here on the box, they were in fact not all the way complete here, but they were mostly complete. It came with 2, so that's why I got this. But people seem very interested, and even despite that TV show, there's a lot of newcomer fans who've never heard of this stuff. Now, I did encounter this when I was very young. I didn't own it personally, but I knew a friend of a friend who had one, and when I looked at it and saw those drivers, I never knew they were connected, but I thought, well, those would fit nicely in my G1 Transformers, or as we knew them back then, Transformers. So I want to show you this, give you an idea of what we have. I'm going to unbox it now. You can hear some stuff in there flopping around. The box isn't in bad shape, and you can see here that the logo, the Takara logo, is there. Make sure nothing fell out. No, okay. So as the box explains, they are the originators, protector of the universe, and the artwork, although done by presumably a different artist, has a lot of the similarities that the excuse me, that the Transformers G1 box art had. Looking at the back here, it tells you what each, and I'm sorry about the lighting, tells you what each of the items did. So you've got your command ship, Alpha Carrier, winged transporters, flying fighters, armored tanks, Astro Forces, Delta carriers, and space battleships. And all these little tiny ships, as you can see here, will form the giant robot. As giant as it was. And he has a launcher, which I tested that before I made this video, and it actually still works, but I'm not going to launch him. And here you have the directions that show you how to connect and do this. I have never done this. Aside from just checking the box contents, I am completely new to this toy. So I'm going to share this with you, and we're going to look at it together. So here, of course, are the figures. There's a green one. Get him in there. Get him focused on there. Lighting. Let me put this back here. Maybe try to move this over here. So, yeah, the lighting, or the figure here, he's a little green guy. He's got the silver body and the silver head, which was very common in toys from that era. He's got the little magnets on his feet, which let him stick to metal surfaces. And then from him we have, I'll set him aside here. I'll move this down a little bit as well. So I've got one missile, which I've seen these missiles show up on eBay from time to time. I think there's one up now for about $10. I may grab it just to complete the launchers. And then, oh, I thought I lost another one. Here he is, the yellow version. Similar to the yellow version that came with Powered Convoy, but the yellow version that came with that had a yellow chest and just a silver back, whereas this is this version, so that's different. And then we've got this launcher here, which is what the robot is supposed to stand on and then launch. And as I said, I tested this. I'm very hesitant. You see that spring-loaded thing, and then you press this, and it has all the power of the Japanese spring launchers. Much more aggressive than the ones we got in the United States due to safety issues. Then you have the... So my battery died while I was filming this. I had to go recharge it, so I'll pick up where we left off. You have number 6 here. They're all numbered. I guess that's to make it easier to figure out like what goes where in terms of the transformation. But so you got 2 of each of everything. And these number 6 ones, they're called the Astro Forces, according to the box there. Moving down here, you've got the these particular ones. I think they're called the, let me see, they're on the box here. Okay, these are the feet, so these are the space battleships there at the end. Give you some, and these have little wings that flip up and down, so kind of loose. Grab the other one here, and then on the red ones here, the number, well, these don't even have a number on them, but they are listed as the Alpha Carriers. No, that's not the right one. Huh. Oh, Flying Fighters, okay. So I'm using the box as a cheat sheet to know what these are called. They're not the most dramatic names you can give to a bunch of little flying cars, but you know, they are what they are. And then these are the winged transporters right here. Uh-oh, no. Thought he was missing one. And as you may have noticed, they all have the little chairs, so you can just sit the little people inside. So he would go in here. Well, his arms have to flip up. They're not very, like, there's not really any controls for the pilot. They just kind of sit in there. And one thing I've noticed about these little men is that their magnets don't work anymore on their feet. They are completely demagnetized. Now that could be related just to the age. I know when I was doing computer repair for a living on my tech bench, we had this small device that was there explicitly for you can magnetize and demagnetize your screwdrivers with it. So it's possible that if these are demagnetized, you might be able to bring them back to life if I swish it around in one of the magnetic devices. These are the rocket launchers, by the way, while I'm just kind of rambling on. They got a little bit of chrome wear on them as well. But surprisingly, a lot of the stuff's in pretty great shape. So now we're over here to the little train. These are ground cars, so these don't fly. Number 5, so that makes that be the armored tanks. Well, that makes sense. So this is the armored tank, and then over here we've got the Delta carriers, which these are kind of neat because they might be troop carriers, I don't know, but they open up like this, and then this is part of the transformation, I think, but so they have a lot of little hinged edges on those as well. And then this is one of the larger ships. This one is die cast. So let's see if they can stick to this. Yes, that's the missile. I guess it helps if I grab the right thing. So yeah, this is there's no magnetic field there at all on either one of these, but I'll try this one just again just to make sure. Yeah, so nothing there. And then this one is also pure die cast. Now this is supposed to flip up to be in ship mode. Number 14, which is the end all and be all. That is the command ship. So this is where it all, it's listed on the box as the number 1 item. So all that said, let's get this into robot mode. First time out. I've seen the box illustrations, so I know that this plugs into here. I think that has a little bit of paint wear on it. Doesn't surprise me. So this would get plugged into here. So that forms the main body and the waist. And then I believe these would fold up or down. I'm going to fold them down like this, just to get that where it needs to be. And then if you go to the box, it's going to show you that these guys are going to be the arms. So they're going to go like so. Now remember, I've never done this before, so apologies for any lack of knowing what the heck I'm even doing here, because there's just nothing that I've ever referenced these from. Maybe I'll cut out these bumbling parts. Maybe I'll just leave them in there for whatever's sake. This looks like it should go something like that. Maybe they go this way. No? Okay. I'm going to pause this for a second just to figure out what the heck's going on here. Okay, so I was actually missing a step. These have another group that will plug into it. I think it's these. These are keyed. So these would go in to here, and then those slide right in and those flip down. And then on top of that is where you put these. So you double up on these for the shoulder. So that is a very interesting detail, that these kind of piggyback each other. And then you got this guy here. This goes into the robot, and that's his sort of fist. So depending on how this will go, to go something like that. Then we'll repeat what we did on that to the other side, which is going to be the same thing. This slides into here. These flip down. This will go onto that, and then this will go onto here. I mean, once you get it, it's not like this is some difficult transformation. This is the epitome of a parts former, but you just have to know, at least at some point early on, which parts go where, because there's no real way to know right off the bat. You just kind of experiment. I didn't want to get too crazy with just shoving things into part spots, because I didn't want to get into that situation where I forced it and then broke it. So I think these go like that. And I'll go ahead and build him down this way. So that goes like that. And then these are the leg parts. So they'll slip into here, because again, they're all keyed to go into whatever particular position they're going to go in. And these flip back, these little hinges that I talked about a minute ago, and then they slip into there. And then finally, his little booty feet get put on there, and they go into each of the slots here. Okay, so this is the completed robot. He doesn't have any articulation, as you can see. His arms will go up and down. His legs will actually kind of fan out a little bit, but that's really it for this guy. There's one other part that I missed, which is his missile launchers. They go on this way, which is kind of a weird way, because if you were to, they're not launchers anymore. They're just chest guards, because there's nowhere. These point down based on the box picture. So this would go there. They don't go too far into the little crevice. And this goes here. So now gives him some thickness to the chest. So, and then here he is. I'll spin him around a little bit. At some future point, I'm going to get a better video station, but for now, I just wanted to get this out here and show everyone, just to let you see. There's been pictures of these out online, but I couldn't find a video that specifically, ooh, look at that chrome, that specifically went into great detail. Now, something else I did while my camera was charging, I ordered another set of these guys, just to have, so I could have them for one specific purpose, and that would be to get the extra missile that I talked about earlier in this video. So now I have 3, and I have 2 more Diaclone drivers, a red one and a yellow one. So there's this so now they've got and again, there's none of these, the magnets don't work, so they are kaput. But I love these little drivers. I think I've inadvertently got an urge to build a Diaclone driver army, if I can find these for cheap enough, because a lot of the times I see the people want to sell these for, $50-$60 for just the driver, and I think that's kind of above what market value really dictates for these guys. I don't think they're worth quite that much, but I do obviously think they hold some value and some appeal. So, oh yeah, so he's got wheels on his feet, and that's where he actually would go into his little launch bay. I would presume, yeah, I don't even see how he fits in here anyway, but I would not launch him anywhere, despite it's called the Special Power Launcher. So there's that. This other one I bought did not include a Special Power Launcher. It didn't have a lot of parts, actually. It had mostly just enough to build another one, which I may or may not do. Just kind of leave them displayed in different ways. And it came with the other driver, so I don't know. I knocked all my drivers down. Now I've got 2 yellow ones. So one of these are definitely going to go with powered Convoy, which you'll see in an upcoming video, which is why I bought this in the first place, just to have the little guy. Looks like this guy's already halfway put together. So that's it. That is the Takara Multiforce 14, whether you be with Kronoform or Diaclone or Diacron. You've got some of the old early 80s things that you didn't make it over to the Transformers port, but interesting nonetheless. So these are the type of videos that I'm going to start trying to do more of, rather than just the random toy shopping videos where 9 times out of 10 I don't actually even buy anything. I want to share this stuff. Particularly, I've developed an interest for this older stuff, so I do hope to obtain more. But for now, I shall leave you with this, and I will see you shortly in the future. You know, and I hate to be that guy, but it would help me if you're interested in what I do. If you have more suggestions on what I could or should be doing, you know, subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell icon to get notified when I upload more videos, and of course in comments let me know what you want to see, and I'll work on getting that stuff done for you. Until then, I'll see you next time.